Hello everyone. Namaskar. I am Priyanka Srivastav. I am a yoga teacher and today I am going to speak about yoga and music. So, what is yoga? Yes, in common terms, we usually call asana, pranayam, mudra, and bandh as a yoga. One that leads us to happiness, a calm state of mind, happiness, good health. That is what we relate yoga with. But Patanjali Yoga Darshan says, Patanjali himself, the one who is known as the father of yoga, he says Yoga is Yogaschitta Vritti Nirodha. He defines yoga as Yogaschitta Vritti Nirodha. That is, yoga is the practice that helps, that restrains the mental fluctuations. What are mental fluctuations? चित्त में जो वृत्तियाँ होती हैं उनको जो है हम मेंटल फ्लक्चुएशंस बोलते हैं। हिंदी में उसको हम वृत्ति बोलते हैं। वृत्ति इज समथिंग दैट डिस्टर्ब्स द माइंड, डिस्टर्ब्स द चित्त। हमारा मन एकाग्र नहीं रहता, उस स्थिति को हम जो है वृत्ति बोलते हैं हिंदी में। तो उन्होंने इसको 5 तरह का बताया है। दीज आर प्रमाण, विपर्यय, विकल्पा, निद्रा, स्मृति। तो प्रमाण इज़ द करेक्ट नॉलेज। व्हाट इज़ करेक्ट नॉलेज एग्जैक्टली? क्योंकि ज़्यादातर सब चीज़ें रिलेटिव होती हैं। हमें कोई चीज़ सही लगती है तो दूसरे को वो चीज़ गलत लगती है, थर्ड पर्सन को कुछ और सही लगता है। तो इट इज़ डिफरेंट विद डिफरेंट पीपल। सो व्हेन यू आर मच established in your yoga and you can perceive things directly, मतलब अपने हायर सेंसेस को यूज़ करके आप किसी चीज़ को परसीव करते हैं and you know that they are correct, that is a way of direct perception. Or through some higher authorities like Ram or Krishna, with the incarnations, when they say something, or the higher evolved sages when they say something, perhaps that is the most authentic knowledge we have. The third type can be a logical conclusion that one draws, but with logical conclusion it is not always same with everyone, because everyone has a different mindset. So they have been brought up with a different conditioning of the mind. They have studied different philosophy. So people cannot have the same conclusion. It will be a scientist would come to a different conclusion, while a sage would come to a different conclusion. A mathematician, accountant. So people are different, and they how they have been brought up, they would conclude differently. So logical conclusion, even though it is to correct knowledge, we will have to use all the three. Authentic knowledge, the one that comes from authority figure, through direct perception, and through this direct perception, also we can conclude that all these three, the logical conclusion, through or using all these three, then we can steer away, and we should be always open, be open to the change. Only then we can arrive at a right conclusion. Next we have the viparyaya. Viparyaya is the delusion. What is delusion? When things appear to be different, like if you put a stick into the water, a flowing stream of water, you will see that it appears bent. So why does it appears bent? Even though it is not bent, in still water if you put it, then you will see it appears to be bent. Why does it? It's just a refraction that is happening, the bending of the light. It is not that the stick itself is bent. Similarly, with when one is drunk or something, and he walks down the narrow dark lane, and he sees some rope lying over there, and he perceives it as a snake. So the snake is not there, of course. He perceives the rope as a snake. So that kind of delusion is called viparyaya. This also happens when we are afraid of something, we tend to see it all around us. So our own fears, anxieties, we seem to see them all around us. Vikalpa. Vikalpa is ignorance. Vikalpa is ignorance, or the imaginary knowledge, you can say. Imaginary knowledge that even when the one is walking down the lane and there's no rope, even then too you are perceiving that the snakes are coming all over to you, or somebody is trying to might kill you from somewhere, and somebody might come out from so nowhere, or you tend to see ghosts all around. You are imagining things at that time. That is called the vikalpa. And the third is nidra smriti. Nidra is the memory. Okay, the next one is the nidra. Nidra is the deep sleep. During deep sleep, also the modifications of the chitta can happen. It may we might not be aware, but they happen subconsciously. Then the fifth one is the smriti, memory. We know that similar kind of memories are kept together, so even when we are not really aware, this the brain is functioning, it was bringing together the similar kind of memory, so one memory affects the other memory as well. So at other times we are not able to relate exactly the same way the memory had, because the similar memories have contaminated or corrupted it a bit. So these are the five vrittis. When we overcome these vrittis, then we are able to reach a state of samadhi, or the where we are move beyond the incarnations, and we are able to break the cycle of birth and death. But in my opinion, do we ultimate aim of yoga, that is what we say. But I think without karma yoga, one cannot actually go for the breaking of the birth death cycle. If one has like, I would give an analogy, like if a plant has a flower, a plant with a flower, and then we have several kinds of plants inside, and they are forming a group. So an individual is like the flower on a plant, and then we have different all the different plants of the same species, and they are together and they are forming a joint family, the entire cult, or the entire family that is there. And then we have the entire cult. Then we have several such species of plants that are there, several such species, they together form a complete garden. So we can say the entire world as a garden that has different different species of plants in there. So one cannot exactly identify with oneself. That is a very small identity one has ki, I just liberate myself, and then we leave the birth death cycle and stop the reincarnation. That is the inner samatvam reached, inner balance that one has reached. But without external balance, one without reaching to that external samatvam, one cannot exactly be liberated. That is my opinion, I feel. Even you see with Gautam Buddha was such a big saint that when he walked over to a place, even up to the miles and miles together, even the wild animals did not hunt at that time. He was so peaceful and loving at that time. The energy percolated all throughout the miles. So that kind, even with Yukteswar Guruji, once a cobra entered while he was teaching, he kept unmoved. It just came, and like a pet animal, then he slipped away. When he said, "Okay, you can leave now," he just slipped away. So that is the kind of the inner samatvam should come out and benefit the people as well. One cannot achieve things on his own and expect that move out of the birth death cycle. That is my opinion. The concept of Vaishnava Kutumba comes here. That the whole world family is our family. The little identification of being a flower of a small plant, that is a very small identification. Then your identity as a Karma Yogi grows. The identity is not that of a single flower of a plant. It is the identity of the entire nation or the entire world, where all people of all the caste, creed, religion are just similar. They are just human beings. Even the animals also a part of the creation. So one becomes a part of the creation. He is not no more of individual self who is just a flower of the plant. Now he has ascended to being a Mali himself. He is the gardener himself now. that he tends to all the garden, entire garden, and he brings the entire plant as his own family, as his own children. That is a that is a true ascendance. So what he achieved inside himself, that is what he achieves outside himself. So now it doesn't matter whether he closes his eyes and reaches pratyahar and moves beyond the birth death cycle, or he is outside and with his eyes and senses open, and he is sensing the entire kutum as his family, as he would feel for himself. He is just multiplied into billions of people. For me, the reaching the inner samatvam and external samatvam is very important. Reaching a point of yogic harmony, and where the entire world is in the same color, in the same hue of love, peace, and happiness. To create the yogic harmony, what is that thing that we need? We need the music. Music is the thing that connects with all and sundry, irrespective of the caste, creed, religion, and language, because it focuses on the emotion or the bhav. Our Indian classical music focuses on all the nine emotions or the nine bhav. It has raga for each rag, for each of the nine emotions. Even the 12 astrological signs have different rag for each of them. These ragas can be sung at different seasons as well. Even they are divided according to seasons as well, according to time as well, and as well as the event that is happening. According to the event as well, we have different rag for each. So so elaborate is the Indian classical music that it can be we can compose an entire life out of the classical music. For every event we can have a different rag. So even this is the basis for classical for this is the basis for music therapy as well, because it affects us at the physical, emotional, and the mental level. We can create if a person is in depression, we can create a happy harmony rag that can connect with him and heal him as well. This is the therapy that is being recently used now. Even it has a close connection in it. Classical music has a close connection with Indian mythology as well. So we see Krishna with a flute, and Saraswati with a veena. So Krishna's flute creates that blissful environment. Saraswati's Veena, when she strikes the right chord, it balances the sympathetic and the parasympathetic system. So one achieves the love, peace, balance, and harmony. A yogic state is achieved. This, with the play of Indian classical music, the ragas, one can expand his consciousness and bring balance to not only to himself but to the other people as well. This strings together all the beads in a yogic state, in the yogic necklace that anyone can wear and achieve the state of harmony. With this, I would end this session, and thanks to all of you, thanks to Yoga University for giving me a chance to speak on this beautiful topic. And I hope you all connect with this and would definitely love to use the Indian classical music to create a harmony amongst the people or your clan. And good luck, good wishes. Thank you very much.